All right, hey guys, Graham from Brother Telepathy here, taking a closer look at Shedeur Sanders versus Arizona. Let's take a peek at the stat line before we get into the game here. Around 70% completion percentage, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Believe he had 1 sack and 1 fumble in this game. So we'll take a closer look here at the film and see what was good, what was bad, and go from there. Let's get into it. First play here, we're going to go to the whiteboard for. I'm going to draw it out for you guys first, and then we'll actually look at the play afterwards. All right, we're going to do our best on this one here. So this is kind of how they look to be set up right now. Now they're in a 3-4 defense, so you got 3 down linemen, and you've got 4 linebacker types. You've got your Will backer, your Mike backer, your Sam, and then your nickel back or your spur type of player here. So this is kind of like a corner linebacker hybrid safety, if you will. So that's this guy in the slot. You've got your 2 corners outside, and you got your 2 safeties. So when Arizona comes out, they kind of look like they could be in somewhat of a cover 2 look, or maybe some form of cover 6 potentially, actually. So you know they're kind of disguising things a little bit. However, if you notice, this safety kind of cheats down, and I guess I'll go over the offense as well. So they're in essentially like a 3-by-1 formation here with the running back to the strong side. So you've got the 3 receivers essentially out here, and then you've got Travis Hunter, which is your X on this play, by himself on the outside. The defense actually, they end up going man in this. You'll actually see how this plays out. But they essentially are kind of disguising with the 2 high safety look. Usually quarterbacks, first thing to look at is, how many safeties are there. This one safety cheats down here, and they actually end up double teaming Travis Hunter. So you'll see that on the play. So in terms of the play they actually call, so essentially the H-back or the tight end ends up blocking here, and the running back ends up blocking as well. So they don't actually go out for any passes on this play. Travis Hunter just runs basically like a straight go ball here. And again, you'll see these guys end up covering Travis Hunter on this play. The Will and the Mike actually end up blitzing as well, along with the D lineman here. So they end up sending 5 on this play, and so the Sam backer here just kind of drops into middle kind of zone coverage, if you will, and then this guy's manned up on the slot receiver, corner's manned up out here. Safety is supposed to take just everything deep. However, what you'll see is this safety doesn't really actually end up doing his job. They're probably cheated over too far, in my opinion, if you're going to cover the middle of the field, because that's exactly what goes to bite them in the butt on this play, is this slot receiver here, who's ends up getting close. I actually don't think it's a touchdown on the replay, but it's a very big play. He just kind of stems inside, back out a little bit, and then runs a post over top. This safety just doesn't have enough time to get over. This ends up being the big completion here. This guy on the outside runs basically like a 10 to 12 yard in route. I think this would be a good option as well. However, we'll see here that this guy ends up becoming so wide open. This has got to be where the ball goes. And Shedeur hits it. So let's take a look at the actual play itself. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look. So we can see they're set up in that formation, as I mentioned here. This guy is the one that actually ends up scoring the touchdown. So let's watch it go out here. Again, look how far down the safety is cheated over. They're, again, doubling Travis. And then, this safety, I feel like, in my opinion, I know they're only covering this side of the field, but I think he's cheated too far over, which allows for the post to get by him over top. Now, we'll see. I think Shedeur is actually a tick late on this throw. You're going to want to hit the guy when he's actually, if he's even, he's leaving. It's kind of the saying here. So what that means essentially, and I'll pause it when we get to it, when the receiver gets even with the corner on this play, the receiver has the advantage. And so you should be throwing it really when he's making his break. So it allows you to hit the guy in stride and actually score this touchdown. I think the reason this isn't a touchdown is because Shedeur is a tick late on it and it's a little underthrown. So let's actually watch it here. So again, they shift over. Boom, right here. That's when the ball should be out of your hands, is when he's making that break. There's nobody over here. I mean, there's nothing but green grass because this guy's head is turned straight towards Travis Hunter. I mean, they are straight up double teaming him. No option to go here whatsoever. Again, this guy's got his back turned to where the ball should be thrown. Shedeur's a tick late. He has to see it open, and this is one of my biggest gripes with Shedeur Sanders. In my opinion, he's a see it, throw it type of quarterback. Doesn't throw with a lot of anticipation. Again, he should be hitting him right here. Ball should be out. It's a tick late. Again, underthrown, so he has to slow down for it. Makes a great catch, though. And again, he's short, but it allows his guy to make the tackle. So let's watch the tight angles because this is a really nice catch. But he's got plenty of time. Again, just a tick late. Nice catch. Big play. Nice job. Next play is one that I was ragging on Shedeur for a little bit, and that being his timing and lack thereof within it. This is actually an example of where he has pretty good timing and delivers a nice ball. Again, accuracy has never been in question for me with Shedeur Sanders. Timing is something I'm concerned with him, but this is a good example of him actually with a nice rhythmic pass in time. So we're going to take a look here. The receiver he throws to runs like a 10 to 12 yard dig route over the middle of the field. Shedeur sits back, sees it. Nice throw. Good bit of anticipation here. Not through a bunch of tight windows, but just a nice in rhythm play. So let's go ahead and watch it. That slot guy in the middle. Just nice in time. We'll watch the tight angle again. That slot receiver. Just 10 to 12 yard dig route. Shedeur uses eyes, sees it. Nice ball. Maybe a tick late, if anything. But overall, that's a good throw. This one is a miss by Shedeur, in my opinion. Let's watch it here. All right, so Travis Hunter is at the bottom of your screen here. He runs like a big over route across the field, beats his guy to the inside. This is where the ball should go. The slot at the top of the screen, he runs like a big corner route. He is essentially designed to take that nickel defender over him and the single high safety over top with him. The guy on the outside at the top of the screen just runs like a little curl route. That guy is actually in man coverage, really taking himself completely out of the play. Let's watch it here. This is a designed boot to the left. Right here, you can already see that Travis Hunter is coming open right here on the over route. Now the corner, the jury's still out a little bit for a split second because let's say Shedeur does throw this ball now. There's a chance this guy could potentially make a play on the ball. It'd be close, but I can see holding the ball for another split second. Let's watch here just to make sure. Right here, when the ball is coming loose, look at this. You can see the defender's back now turned. He is running with this guy. So again, Travis Hunter wins. If you're Shedeur, you can float this over this defender here on Travis Hunter. Hit the over, probably a big yak play on this one. Might get tackled here after about 10 yards because you've got a few defenders around him. But Shedeur throws to this guy. This is not the guy you should throw to, especially now you can see his back is turned. He's running with him. Let's back it up a little bit. You guys will see what I mean here. Let's watch it. Travis wins, boot, throws the corner. Good miss if you're going to throw the corner. Ends up getting a flag on it looks like as well. But yeah, I think he misses this one. This should have been to Travis Hunter for a completion. Again, pretty good throw in movement. Ends up getting the flag, but yeah. This play here, example of not the best anticipation for Shedeur Sanders. So Travis Hunter, again, bottom of the screen. He's running like a post, essentially like a big post. Guy at the top of the screen, that split end receiver, he's running what's called a glance route. Basically, that is a hybrid kind of between like a post and like a big slant. Kind of like a bang 8, which essentially on your 8th step, you bang inside like you're running a post. So this is a glance route. You kind of glance around, your outside kind of hook defender here. So he's kind of wrapping around him basically. So it's a glance or a wrap route around this guy. Again, Travis Hunter running a big post with the single high safety look. Looks like cover 3. So there's going to be 2 hook defenders here in the middle. So Shedeur takes a snap, and in my opinion, if he was a high-level anticipator, he would throw this guy in the middle between the 2 hook defenders. You'll see the window when the clip rolls here. Travis Hunter is essentially taking the safety out of the play. Shedeur ends up rolling out and then gets a pretty decent gain. But again, if he was a high-level anticipator, I think he would hit this. So not bad protection there. See right here, that window between those 2 defenders. I mean, again, Shedeur maybe isn't the guy to make that play because his arm is just doesn't have the most velocity on it. So I can, again, understand maybe not wanting to make that throw if you're Shedeur Sanders. At the very least, though, you've got this guy kind of leaking out as your kind of, your check down, if you will. I think he could hit him for at least some form of a gain. Ends up rolling out, getting a pretty decent gain on this. But again, I think if Shedeur was a very high-level anticipator, he maybe could have thrown this in there. Pretty tight window throw, but I think if you're a first-round quarterback, you make those type of plays. So, that's just my opinion, but let's, again, watch maybe full speed so you can kind of see where we're at here. Excuse me. Right there. Misses the window, has to roll out. Again, gets a block. Shedeur's not a plus athlete, but he's a decent enough athlete, so he makes it work. You'll see the window here on the tight copy. Right there, I mean, zip it past the referee's head. I think a high-level first-round quarterback should make that play. Very next play, good, in rhythm, play action. Slot receiver has a little quick slant, hits him. This is nice. I mean, just, again, something I'm seeing not very consistently in Shedeur's tape, but in rhythm, nice slant. He's wide open. Good play. Let's watch again from the tight angle. He does have good footwork, good mechanics. Shedeur does. Just easy, very catchable pass. All right, this play. A little later in the game, they flip the field, obviously, here. Nice, again, another good timing play from Shedeur. They run a little RPO. Guy at the top of the screen is the guy who runs another kind of bang eight glance type of route here. Shedeur just pretty good in rhythm, pretty easy read. You can see here the guy, little RPO. So does execute it, well though. So we'll see here again, play fake coming up. Safety crashes, good read. In rhythm. Again, one thing I do like about Shedeur, I know I have a lot of negative about him, but he does throw a very catchable pass, which I do like. He knows how to throw with touch. So nice play there from Shedeur. Next play, not much is open, but I do like that Shedeur takes the right matchup on this one. We'll see the tight end at the top of the screen ends up getting kind of a one-on-one situation with that corner. I like that Shedeur goes there because, again, nothing else on the strong side of the formation is really open. That safety creeps over, which does allow enough room to get the pass off. Let's watch the play, though. We'll see here that it ends up being incomplete. It's hard to say exactly whether that tight end was supposed to kind of break in more or whether Shedeur just kind of misses. So I won't exactly say this is like a bad throw from Shedeur here because, as you'll see on the tight copy, the tight end ends up going a little bit skinnier when Shedeur throws the pass a bit flatter. But I want to show something here on the tight angle. One thing that I don't really love about Shedeur's game here is his drop back is just, it's not athletic to me. It's not what he doesn't drop back with enough urgency. It's a bit lackadaisical in my opinion. I don't think the footwork is really there on his drop back. He kind of just slowly shuffles back. It's almost like he's like dancing a little bit, but not in like a good way. And I think that could lead to some timing and accuracy issues with Shedeur. So maybe that could get cleaned up a little bit. But I still think he's kind of like a see it, throw it type of quarterback, not a lot of anticipation. But watch the play here. Again, this little shuffle drop back I don't really like. Again, it's hard to say whether that was actually Shedeur's fault or the tight end's fault. That's kind of dependent a little bit on how it's coached. From what I can see here, I think right there, I think you have to follow your receiver's angle a little bit because I think he is open enough. Sometimes you have to throw your guy open if he's not really running the correct way. But I think this tight end or this receiver knows there's a safety over top, so wants to keep it a bit skinnier to get a touchdown. And Shedeur throws it flatter or more in again. So, it's hard to say exactly. Also, he leads him a little far, so just not the best throw on that one. Very next play. This is a good play by Shedeur. It's incomplete, but it's a good play. Top of the screen, we're going to focus on that side of the field because this is where Shedeur is reading. Outside, very most outside guy runs another 10 to 12 yard kind of dig. And then the slot receiver runs like a little bubble screen almost. And so Shedeur with the play fake is kind of reading those two guys. He correctly reads it because the slot defender ends up hesitating slightly, kind of keeps his feet flat in the ground, kind of playing that slot receiver. And so he ends up throwing the dig on the outside, which is the correct read. He would have gone to the slot if the slot defender kind of stayed back or kind of moved back with the outside guy. So this is a good read by Shedeur Sanders. Really, I think that this is the reason it's incomplete is it's a result of the receiver, actually, not Shedeur's fault. When you run kind of an in-breaking route or really an out-breaking route for that matter as well, you're really supposed to stay flat on the line of the cut that you make. If you notice really closely, that outside receiver kind of drifts off that line a little bit away from the ball. If anything, he should be drifting towards the football. I think if he does, it's complete. Good timing. I would say that's an accurate throw by Shedeur. So I think this is actually a good play. Again, this game in particular, he's doing a little better with his timing. I think that probably should be caught. If not, it's at least a good play. A couple plays later, this is actually a pretty impressive throw by Shedeur Sanders. Well, it's an impressive read by Shedeur Sanders, I will say. I'll be a little nitpicky on the actual pass itself, but this is a good read. So basically, I believe this is actually like 4th and 10. So gotta have it situation. The slot receiver runs like another post, essentially, and then the outside guy, which is Travis Hunter, runs another 10 to 12 yard dig. So Shedeur gets plenty of time in the pocket, is able to stay in there, read the defense, and delivers his pass. So this is overall a really nice read. Again, he's got plenty of time. He's able to step up, deliver the ball. Now, we'll see on the tight angle here, I'll be a little nitpicky with the actual delivery. It's a little behind in terms of accuracy. It's not perfectly in stride like you'd like to hit Travis Hunter. And again, I can't help but notice the velocity on his passes are just not great. So if, at the next level, assuming he's a high first round player, goes to a bad team, he might not have the elite separator like Travis Hunter is, and he may need to, rifle in a pass to get to his guy before the better DB than Arizona bad team DB is at the next level. So I think these things, it is nitpicky, but again, I think you have to be with you're talking about a potential top 5 pick. Overall though, like I said, good read. Let's back it up a little bit so you guys can see what I'm talking about. The ball is just, again, not out in front enough in my opinion, and just not a lot of velocity. But good catch. Overall, good play. Not much to actually break down on this one, but just wanted to show you guys the fumble. Just a bad exchange there. I couldn't tell exactly on that angle if Shedeur just bobbled it or if it was just, again, bad handoff. Yeah, it looks like he just bobbled it a little bit. That was the fumble. Just wanted to show that here. Back to the board. So this was an interception. Good read, bad throw. So we're going to take a look here. The defense comes out like this. Again, they are in a 4-3 defense, 3 down linemen. The Sam backer creeps up like he's going to blitz. Now, he actually ends up bailing and covering here. They're going to go here. They're going to go here. They're going to end up in quarters, which is basically a cover 4. It's 3rd and 20 after that fumble. So he's going to go here, deep quarter, deep quarter, deep quarter. This nickel is going to drop to the deep quarter, and the cornerback, is going to kind of stay on the flat. So they're running a quarters defense. So running back play fakes, ends up just kind of blocking out here, kind of chipping and then leaking out. The outside receiver, the condensed receiver, ends up running like a drag route. This number 3 receiver ends up running like a big over route.
Travis Hunter on the outside runs like another kind of go ball essentially. Now, this is the guy you want to hit. Shedeur reads this correctly. This guy runs essentially like a little, again, kind of in glance, something like that. As this receiver, you want to find that soft spot in the coverage, which he does correctly. Now, Shedeur, when he throws the ball, he ends up throwing it late, inaccurately, ends up, one of these safeties, I don't remember which one, ends up, I believe this guy, ends up making a play on the ball, picks it off, and again, this is the read. He throws it correctly. He just throws an inaccurate ball. It's late. It's, again, the timing is an issue for Shedeur. He has to wait for this guy to become open before he throws it. Therefore, this safety ends up being able to make a play on it. So as a high-level first-round quarterback, you should be able to anticipate that, see the drop in coverage, and hit that guy when he's making his break in order to get the first down.
All right, we're going to play the all-22 now. I don't need to really break it down too much because I just did on the whiteboard, but let's take a look. And again, play fake right there. He should be throwing it already late. There's no velocity on his ball whatsoever. Interception. Let's watch from the tight angle. We'll really be able to see the inaccuracy, the late timing, the slowness that his ball, I mean, look how slow that ball travels there. Again, I'd say more than anything, it's probably inaccurate. He is late, again, like I said, but, and it's 3rd and 20. It's tough. It's tough to convert on 3rd and 20, but I mean, you know, this is just not a good throw, guys. All right, another example of just not great timing, even worse, ball, throw power, if you will, velocity, whatever the case is. Hits the quick out at the bottom of the screen of the slot guy. Is able to step into it, but just short arms it. I mean, it looks like they called it completion, but, you know, let's just back up again for a second. You'll see here, you know, again, he just short arms it. This is not, you know, not great. Not a long throw. Basically almost dirts it. You know, he just doesn't have a lot of arm strength. You know, he's late too. It's not like he throws it really that well on time either. All right, not inherently a bad play here, but I want to use this play to make a point that I don't find that appealing about Shedeur Sanders as a first-round quarterback. He just doesn't really generate that many explosive plays. This is kind of an example of that. We can see here, you know, he hits this check down. And again, maybe this is what he's asked to do, but Shedeur does rely on these a lot to get him yardage, to get touchdowns, completions, all these things. And again, he may very well be asked within the confine of his offense to do things like this. But I've seen high-level NFL quarterbacks throw the curl on the outside in this instance, or they hit the glance route quickly right here, boom. And they hit this quick glance on the inside, or they hit the curl route that's coming open as well. Shedeur just doesn't take those often. And again, not inherently a bad thing all the time, but he just doesn't generate a lot of explosive plays. Couple that with his not great arm. He just is not an elevator in my opinion, at the quarterback position. This is where Cam Ward has a leg up, in my opinion. You have somebody who can elevate and carry an offense. Oftentimes you need that out of a first-round quarterback. Shedeur does have a fit in the NFL. It's just not as a top 5 pick, in my opinion. Next play here, throws the correct pass. These guys for Arizona, they're playing man coverage across the board here. He ends up throwing the slot fade, which is the right thing to do in trips formation against man coverage, even if it's off man. This outside guy runs like a hitch or an extended hitch or a curl. This guy bites on it. Now, they get a flag because there's a holding on this nickel corner against the slot receiver. But watch the throw. This was not going to be a touchdown without, you know, this penalty coming into play. Again, makes the correct read. You know, right here, you'll see this is where the holding comes into play. Watch the ball, though. I mean, that's way inside, way short. You know, flags come everywhere because it is an obvious holding. But this is a bad throw. You know, he's got plenty of time. His feet are completely set. Lofts it up there. I mean, it's just not a good throw, especially considering that should have been, you know, a completion otherwise. All right, next series coming up towards the end of the game here. This next play is just a really good example of Shedeur just not really trusting his arm. So what happens here, and we'll back it up just a little bit. So essentially, this nickel defender is going to end up bailing, and he's going to play this deep half. This backer, we'll call him Sam Backer, ends up sprinting out. You'll see him. He turns around and he goes in a full-out sprint to be this hook flat defender. The slot guy ends up running just a curl. Shedeur sees the opening. He's going to actually kind of act like he wants to throw it at first. He then hesitates, doesn't end up pulling the trigger, does hit his check down, so it is a positive play from that sense. But it just goes to show he's just gun shy when trying to make these big time throws, which again are not really that big time. So right here, he hesitates and then turns it down. Again, objectively not that bad of a play, especially not like stat sheet wise or anything. But, we see he really could fire it into this guy. Even with a little bit of anticipation, he could let it go right now. Ball will hit his guy when he turns around. But again, he's a see it, throw it type of quarterback. He waits fully for the guy to have his eyes back on him. Now it probably is too late to throw it. Again, astutely does check it down at this point. But, Shedeur he's gun shy. He's not on time, not an anticipator whatsoever. And I feel like you have to have those if you're going to be the type of quarterback that he is, being a pocket passer, accurate type of quarterback. All right, another not great throw here. We're going to be talking about the top of the screen because Shedeur is working this side of the field. Man coverage across the board once again. Outside receiver is going to end up running like a quick slant essentially, or like a quick in route. Slot guy is going to end up running like a flag route or a corner here. Shedeur elects to go for the corner route. I don't hate it in man coverage with a single high safety taking that guy, but if you do throw that ball, you need to throw it with, again, high level anticipation. Need to put it out there for your guy to actually have a chance on it. In this situation, with how late he throws it, I think he could have elected to go for the slant. Again, I don't mind the initial diagnosis, if you will, pre-snap, but I think he locks in on it and then ends up throwing it late and it ends up being incompletion. So let's see here. Again, he kind of locks in on it, throws it way late, throws it way inside and way short. So I'll back it up just a little bit here. Again, I think if you read it for a second, you can see slant, he wins at the top of the screen there. The slant wins. You could throw this at this point. Again, he's holding on to the ball, so he's late. If you're going to throw this early, if you're going to pre-diagnose that, you better be letting it go now with the type of arm strength that Shedeur Sanders has. Doesn't have the self-awareness in this situation to do that. Again, way late. I mean, days late. Bad throw. It's short. It's not catchable in any way. So, again, got a clean pocket. Everybody talks about how bad his O-line was. He's got plenty of time, in my opinion. It's just not there. All right, next one here is subtle, but I do think it's something that is a negative on Shedeur once again. Nothing really is open on the left side of the field. He ends up taking the one-on-one at the bottom of the screen, which I like the idea of at that point. However, when you watch his pocket movement, he stands in the pocket fine. I don't think he drifts in this situation, but you'll see there's an alley in which I think Shedeur actually has a chance to step up because that D-end on the outside here at the bottom of the screen really takes a long path to get around that right tackle, and I think it does allow for a lane in which Shedeur could step up, keep his eyes downfield, or eventually tuck it and run here. Shedeur doesn't really do that. So we'll see here, he takes a very wide angle. He actually kind of beats the right tackle here. We can see there's an alley kind of forming right in here. I think this is where Shedeur could realistically step up kind of into that space. I don't want to compare them apples to apples, but I do feel like this is something in which Cam Ward is pretty good at. He's able to navigate a muddy pocket. And I wouldn't really call this like a muddy pocket necessarily, but the point still stands. Shedeur just kind of throws it, not really a catchable ball, kind of throws it out of bounds, tries to take his chances with the penalty. Hopefully we'll see a good angle here. Again, I really think there's plenty of room right here where Shedeur can step up and to the right. And then again, there's really nobody here where he could run. This is, I think, where Shedeur could use the athleticism that he does have to make a little bit happen here. But again, he just kind of doesn't do that. So, it's not a horrible play. I'm being nitpicky, but again, we're talking about a potential top 5 pick here. So there's room to be nitpicky in my opinion. All right, pretty much the last play. We're kind of in garbage time here. The defense, they come out in this too high safety look, but they end up going with a cover 3 coverage here. This safety ends up taking this deep third. This safety ends up taking middle deep third. And then this nickel ends up taking this deep third. So they kind of run like an inverted cover 3, I guess, if you will. Now, one thing that's an excellent beater against cover 3 is a seam route. And again, I don't want to compare these guys too much, but Cam Ward is excellent at hitting seam routes, especially against cover 3. So, one other example I wanted to point to in this clip, I should say, is that he has got plenty of time. Again, we're ragging on, his offensive line a lot, but he's got plenty of time. This ends up, I think, maybe only being a 3-man rush. So, let's be fair. But, let's watch this slot at the bottom of the screen there running that seam. Again, against cover 3, this is a gem right here. Do you see how open he ends up being here, guys? Shedeur's not looking over there quite yet, but he was looking over here, in which he saw that nickel corner drop into deep third, which, should indicate to him cover 3. He should know backside he's got that seam. We've seen Cam Ward do this a couple of times this year, hit that seam when they drop into a cover 3. Shedeur does end up looking over this direction, but doesn't pull the trigger. Now, again, garbage time. Maybe let's not do something dumb to let them back in the game. I understand that. But Cam Ward has this gunslinger mentality that Shedeur just does not have. And again, I think if you're not going to have that, you've got to have these other traits that Shedeur also does not have. So that's just my problem with taking a guy like that, top 5, top 3, number 1. I just have a lot of reservation with that if we're talking about all these things kind of stacked on top of each other. I'll let the video play out here. But, right there's enough room, I think, in my opinion, if you've got that level of arm to do it. All right, well, that is the end of the film cut up here. Some good, some not great. Again, I don't think Shedeur Sanders is a bad quarterback. I think if you take him on a team that's got a solidified offensive line, you've got some playmakers with some yak ability on the outside, I think he could thrive. I just don't think when you're picking in the top 3, top 5, number 1 overall, you have a team that's able to sustain a player like him. I think you need somebody who can elevate your team and kind of account for the fact that you don't have the pieces around him. There's no perfect prospect. I definitely do not think Cam Ward is a perfect prospect. But again, if we're talking about fit, which is ultimately the most important indicator for quarterback success, especially rookie quarterback success, you need that type of guy when you're picking that high. So that's why, in my opinion, I just don't see Shedeur as a first-round player just because he doesn't have that kind of elevator factor that other guys have. So, I appreciate you guys watching this video here. We'll make sure to do others of different quarterbacks. But yeah, thanks for taking a minute to take a look here. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all the different socials. Appreciate you guys' engagement, and we'll see you next time. All right, well, that is the end of the film cut up here. Some good, some not great. Again, I don't think Shedeur Sanders is a bad quarterback. I think if you take him on a team that's got a solidified offensive line, you've got some playmakers with some yak ability on the outside, I think he could thrive. I just don't think when you're picking in the top 3, top 5, number 1 overall, you have a team that's able to sustain a player like him. I think you need somebody who can elevate your team and kind of account for the fact that you don't have the pieces around him. There's no perfect prospect. I definitely do not think Cam Ward is a perfect prospect. But again, if we're talking about fit, which is ultimately the most important indicator for quarterback success, especially rookie quarterback success, you need that type of guy when you're picking that high. So that's why, in my opinion, I just don't see Shedeur as a first-round player just because he doesn't have that kind of elevator factor that other guys have. So, I appreciate you guys watching this video here. We'll make sure to do others of different quarterbacks. But yeah, thanks for taking a minute to take a look here. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all the different socials. Appreciate you guys' engagement, and we'll see you next time.